I don't like these speeches about fair share stuff. I'm an economics guy. I believe in data. And I think it's only fair if you're going to ask successful Americans to pay more, then you should probably know what they pay now. So what should the wealthiest 1% and 10% pay as a share of the income tax burden? I think people, on the Democrat side are obligated to tell us what that number is. What do you think the number is?
Well, look, Dan, I think you and I both hate hypocrisy. And I think we want government to work for people. And we're seeing, obviously a lot of money come into the federal government coffers, and it's not always fairly distributed. I grew up in Galesburg, Illinois. It's a place that's really suffered, and they haven't gotten their fair shake a lot of times, and they feel very left behind. I think the problem is that middle America and people who don't have really good lawyers and really good accountants are actually paying the most. So what you see is people who are paying their fair share are paying a lot. I would actually be for a flat tax so that everybody's paying the same percent if they actually pay their taxes. Because the problem is, Dan, we're seeing this. We're seeing this where Warren Buffett is paying less than his secretary because of all of the write-offs and the tax breaks and loopholes that he is eligible for. And he is eligible because of the tax code. So we need to clean those things up.
I agree with your flat tax idea. Flat tax would be a great idea. I agree 100%. But they're not loopholes. They're written into the law. So he's not breaking any law, number one. And secondly, you said something, though, that's not accurate. And I want to give you the opportunity to correct it. The bottom 50% of income earners, Johanna, only pay 2.9% of the income tax load. So they're not, in fact, paying the heaviest load. That's just not true. It's actually the top 10% of taxpayers who pay 71% of the tax load. So that's just not accurate. And I don't know why people say that. It's just not true. It's factually incorrect. Here's a chart, matter of fact, on the screen here showing from the Tax Foundation exactly what I just said. Matter of fact, the top 1% pay 40% of the tax load. So how much more should they pay, and how much less should the middle class and lower income categories, how much less should they pay? The Democrats owe us an answer.
We're talking about like the job creators, right? They're paying a lot of taxes. Here we've got Jeff Bezos, however, he's a job creator, fine, but he's paying very small percentage of the increase of his wealth because he basically manages to funnel it in loans and gets forgiveness for his loans and does all of these things that he's not paying his fair share. I mean, can we at least agree on Jeff Bezos? He's not paying his fair share. No, because I don't get lost. See, this is Johanna. I know what I don't get lost in individual examples because I don't know. I'm not Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett's accountant. No. Well, unless you're his accountant, you don't actually know that's true. I am no fan of either one. I just want to say that on the record. But for a policy that's going to infect the entire country, Joe Biden keeps talking about a fair share, and he can't even name the number. It's not fair to tell people who are successful they're not paying their fair share and inaccurately state it when they are, in fact, the top 10% is paying 70 cents of every tax dollar. How much more do you want? It's a fair question to ask. How much should they pay? And the bottom 50% pay 2.9%. That's just a fact. How much more should they pay? He owes us an answer. I never knew the amount of wealth, like truly, growing up in Galesburg, Illinois, never knew the amount of wealth until I came to California. And you've got people who are in Silicon Valley who are making a ton of money. And my only wish is that they pay it forward for Americans so that people in Galesburg, Illinois have the same shake, have the same opportunity to start a business, to grow a business, to bring... They're not, though, Dan. That's the problem, is Galesburg is still left behind.
Okay, well, how much more should they pay? Just quick, I only got a few. How much more should they pay? Top 1% is paying 40%.
We will agree on a flat tax. What we need to figure out, as a society is what do we want to pay for, and then we should figure out a flat tax that people actually pay. I would be for that. It would be more fair than the system we have today.
That would be a tax cut for the rich because they're paying 40%
It would not.
Now. So, all right, we agree on something.
It would not, but okay.
No, it would be. They pay 40%.
All right, Johanna, I will make a point, though. Yes, but Dan, we were on the same government dole. I'm just saying we were both on the government dole.
Yeah, putting my life on the line for the president. I wouldn't actually call it government dole, but I get it. All right, but thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Yep. Talk to you soon. Wouldn't call it the dole, folks.